Hey everybody, welcome to Fitzdog Radio. It's an exciting day here in Fitzdog Studios, otherwise known as my living room today. And you like that painting behind me? My friend Josh's father did that. Anyway, big day because we hit 250,000 views on the special. 12 days in. I don't know if that's good. I think that's good. We certainly did enough promotion for it, but I think it's a great start. And I want to thank all the people that watched and told their friends and commented. And it means a lot to me. I put a lot into it, and I feel like it's all coming back. The comments are the thing that really make my day. I read them all, and it just makes me feel like I don't care how many people see it, but the ones that are seeing it seem to be really loving it. So thank you for letting me know. Thank you to Kill Tony. That's coming out. By the time you hear this, it will be out. I did it with Sam J. It was a riot. I made a bunch of different people do spelling contests. And Ryan Sickler's podcast is out this week. I just did Tom Papa and Fortune. That came out today. So we keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. Let's go. I just got back from the Mothership in Austin, which is where I did the special and did a weekend headlining with just so many cool comics hanging out. It's sketchy. 6th Street, where the club is. All these people move to Austin because they say LA has too many crazy homeless people. Let me tell you something. Nothing compares to 6th Street in Austin. It's zombies. Dangerous zombies. They literally have a Navy SEAL security guy walk me from the club back to my hotel, which is 2 blocks away. And I need it. People just come right at you. It's nuts. And just every nook and cranny has another shoeless, dirty person shooting up or smoking a pipe. On the street are guys trying to prove themselves, like young dudes, crazy women. Every chick's in Daisy Dukes and practically topless and screaming. And I saw a slap fight between these two girls. I get into the elevator. I don't know how this guy got in the elevator at my hotel because you need a key once you're in the elevator. But I got in the elevator and this guy was in there and he was all tatted out. First of all, how do meth heads have so many tattoos? Like, you're literally spending every dime. You don't have a house or a car or a phone because every dime you get goes into your fucking arm or your throat or your pipe or whatever. And yet, you manage to be covered in tattoos. Is there some kind of priority when you're begging on the street of like, all right, left pocket's my tattoo money, right money is my crack money? Why not blow it all on the good time? Come on, party hard. So this guy, I get on the elevator, and this guy's in the elevator, and I think he's just like a guy in a band. He just looks like maybe a rock and roll guy. And then he starts ripping the control panel off of the elevator, off the wall. He's got his fingers in it, and he's going, I have to get in here. I got to get in here. They put something in here, and he's got his foot against the wall, and he's pulling, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I got really, like, I was squared off. He was a pretty big dude. Not like, he was big enough that you add methamphetamines, and I was scared. And I was squared off, and I was, like, ready to do battle. And then the door opened, not at my floor, thank God. It opened at an earlier floor. And somebody got on, and he went running off. And I was like, Jesus, what's going on in this town? So I stayed in the hotel. Well, I actually stayed in the Mothership, just bought a condo, this huge 2-bedroom condo on the 20th floor of this building. It's in the hotel, but it's like the hotel has a wing that's apartments that they sell. And so it's floor to ceiling windows. Well, you can see it in my interview that's coming up, but you'll only see the one angle. I should have given a tour. but it's incredible. It's like just tricked out with like a fucking 150-inch TV, beautiful couches, got a balcony with furniture, guitar, a record player with all old comedy albums. Everything's totally stocked. So I stayed there, and it was so nice. And I'm the first guest. I'm the first person to stay, and all the headliners at the mothership are going to be staying here. And I'm the first one to break it in. And I did not break it in. I have to say, it's so pristine. I did not even masturbate all weekend out of respect to Mitzi. And maybe Pauly Shore is going to be staying there. I don't want him to be in a condo that somebody jerked off in. So I play the guitar a lot. I did my podcast, which you'll see later, with Hans Kim, which I thought went very well. I didn't know how it would go because he's a little on the spectrum. He's a little Asperger's-y, but man, he was really interesting and very forthcoming. I thought it was great. Also, Troy Conrad, who is the infamous photographer at the Comedy Store for years, at all the comedy clubs. I would say he is the guy who has shot comedy in his life. There's one other guy. Why am I forgetting his name right now? He did my last headshots, but he is the guy who's been haunting all the best comedy clubs. He goes on tour with all the biggest comedians, with Bert and with Joe, and he's amazing. So he shot me last night, which was so fun. I got a bunch of amazing shots on stage and then in front of the club and backstage. So thank you to Troy. And I'm back in LA. Jesus, I've been gone for 3 weeks straight. So I'm for 2 days in the last 3 weeks. So I'm back for a few days, then I'm off to Chicago. I'll talk about that in a minute. But stopped off and went to Maine for a couple of days this past week. My friend Mary turned 60. I might have mentioned it, but she's one of my dearest friends for 35 years. I've known her. And she's just the greatest. She tough family, grew up in Dorchester. Brothers were all like Golden Gloves champs. Her father was a bookie for Whitey Bulger in Dorchester. And just the thick accents, and the brothers are like ball busters, and they get you into headlocks, but they fucking hurt. Like, they don't realize it hurts. And so I did a toast where I ripped them all, which was pretty fun. It was fun, but what a great weekend. What a great collection of friends and family. Tom O'Neill, author of Chaos, was there. The Dunskys and the Malloys, everybody from our neighborhood. A lot of people flew out from all over the country. So that was great. And if you'd like to tell your friends, the special is called You Know Me. We literally just hit 250,000. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That will help. Donate if you like the special. Throw a few bucks in the kitty. You can click on the link right there on the YouTube page. Leave some comments. If you are a listener to the show, I'm counting on you. This is a big moment. Also, a big moment this weekend. I'll be in Rosemont, Illinois, outside of Chicago at Zany's, September 12th through the 14th. Temecula at the Montserrat Winery, September 21st. I'll be in Fairbanks, Alaska, September 25th through the 28th. Also coming to Tulsa, Tacoma, San Francisco, Cleveland, Atlanta, Janesville, Wisconsin, Nyack, New York, Raleigh, North Carolina, Milwaukee, Vegas, Pittsburgh. Go to Fitzdog.com. Get yourself some tickets. Come out and say hi. I got a brand new hour I'm very excited about. Totally different than the special. Also, support for Fitzdog Radio comes from my bookie. I love sports, and when I'm gambling on sports, I just get that much more into it. I share it with friends. We talk about what bets we made. I'm in a pool right now with my sister, and I got a little My Bookie account going. And it just, I don't know. It just makes me like Saturday night, I'm excited to wake up on Sunday. And you check on it all week. All week you're doing research. You got games. I mean, I'm mostly a football guy, but, there's baseball. You do it all. You get on there during your breaks at work. Maybe you're just standing online at Walgreens because they suck and they make you wait. And you can, do a little research. You can make some bets. So I love it. The Rams game last night I knew it was going to be a great game. And with the Detroit Lions, went to overtime. Sad loss, but that kind of kicked off like this is going to be a great season. So my bookie's got weekly risk-free boosts, classic, super, and survivor contests. Even if you're great at this and you've done it forever or you're just starting out, click on my bookie, and my link is Fitzdog, F-I-T-Z, or it's just Fitz, actually. It's F-I-T-Z. So click on that at my bookie and MYBOOKIE and just start earning. They've got all kinds of crazy promotions, weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays. You bet without a sweat. It's so weird. I don't know how this works, but take advantage of it. If your bet hits, you win. Big. And if it doesn't, my bookie will refund your wager. So I really hope this isn't true, but I think you should take advantage of them before they go out of business because it sounds like they're paying out more than they're taking in. They give away hundreds of thousands of prizes with the Super Survivor and Square contests. Get in there. If you're ready to get started, use my promo code FITZ, F-I-T-Z, to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code FITZ, F-I-T-Z, before you even place a bet. Loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Simple. You go through tiers of loyalty reward programs, unload epic promotions. It's amazing. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning SZN. Am I supposed to say SZN? Anyway. All right. Also, Fitzdog Radio is supported by Thesis. And Thesis is I just started on it 2 weeks ago. They sent me a sample, and I got to tell you something. Maybe I'm getting older. My energy is not what it used to be. It's never been great. And when you use Thesis, it's like all the procrastination has been going away. I've been doing so much promo for this thing, little details, all the little things that just stop me. You end up scrolling, you end up cleaning your house when really you have work to do. So Thesis is a brain-boosting supplement. It's all natural ingredients. It's all proven with clinical studies. And it supports faster reaction time, speeds up mental activation, improves your concentration. I don't know. To me, I make a to-do list and boom, it gets done. I remember things like, where are my keys, or call somebody back. So for a limited time, our listeners can get $60 off on your first subscription. Order with code Greg at takethesis.com. That's $60 off your first order. TAKETHESIS.com with promo code Greg. Look, I'm a comedian. I rely on my brain, and I'm not going to lie to you. My brain's not what it was 20 years ago. It just helps me sit down and write. It helps me stay present. I got a family that I come home off the road and I need to be present for. And I got to tell you, the last couple of weeks, I just have felt really creative and yet focused. Usually I'm one or the other, but I'm feeling amazing. So here's how it works. You take a short quiz. You answer some questions about your lifestyle, habits, and goals. Thesis can help identify these nootropic blends for you. You then receive a starter kit with 4 different blends to test over 4 weeks. After that, you'll find out which blend makes you feel more focused, balanced, and productive. At any point during the process, Thesis coaches are ready to answer any questions you may have, guide you through the experience. Thesis offers 6 unique blends to help you discover the blend that best fits your brain chemistry: clarity, creativity, logic, energy, motivation, and confidence. All of Thesis products are made with natural ingredients, non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free. They test everything. So listen, take the free 3-minute quiz to find out what your brain needs. Head to takethesis.com. Use code GREG to save $60 off your first subscription order when you sign up for Thesis. That's $60 off your first order at TAKETHESIS.com with promo code GREG. Maximize your mind with Thesis today. All right. You are going to love it. Okay, you're also going to love my guest, who is a guy who we kind of go through his journey. You know him from Kill Tony. He's like blown up. He's playing theaters now. And a few years ago, he was like a struggling comic living in his car. And it's kind of a testament to what Kill Tony can do for somebody's career. But it's worked because he kills. He comes on and he does new stand-up. And it's really solid. It's really funny. He's an interesting guy. And I sat down with him. I hope you enjoy it. Here is Hans Kim. My guest Hans Kim is sitting in kind of a historic moment. This is the very first, I'm the first guest at the Comedy Mother Store condo.
I'm the first guest of a guest.
That's right. Guest of a guest. And what do you think of the place?
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is like you made it penthouse apartment kind of vibe.
Yeah, it feels like, as somebody who has brought no women back here, has done no drugs here, I feel like it's gone to waste. It's a waste for me. I've had a lot of water. I masturbated twice.
Oh. The whole weekend.
You got a sexy sound in your voice when you said that.
This is a topic I know a lot about.
Are you chronic?
I do 2 or 3 a day.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow. Where do you find the time?
Oh, I don't know. I try to make the time.
You got to make the time.
Yeah.
You got to be committed.
Got to prioritize.
Yeah, right. And are you, do you ever go bareback, or is it always assisted with video?
I always do video.
Yeah.
Even if I start out thinking about something, I'm like, okay, let's kick it up a notch.
Let's take it up a notch. Turbocharge it. And what's your category?
Japanese massage
Dude!
porn. You told me about this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I got you into it?
You got me more into it. The Czech massage porn?
The Czech.
That shit is
crazy. Well, those guys are studs. The thing about the Japanese hidden camera massage porn is that the masseuses are often kind of gross dudes. They're like pudgy and they're older. And the Czech dudes are like studs.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
The ladies are more into it.
They're way more into it. I think there's something about the Eastern European women that they're very comfortable with their sexuality. They're very, very much, they take charge of the sex. And they're gorgeous.
Yes. They have that fucking, I don't know what it is. Maybe if in a hard time, you're like, I got to have hot daughters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so I can get my family up a rung in the social standing. If you have a hot daughter, that could change your life.
Used to be you wanted a strong son for the plow. And now it's a strong daughter to get plowed. Here's the other thing about it, and I'm a little bit on the fence about this. Like I've gotten to the point with my pornography where I feel like I don't want it faked. I don't want actors, and I don't want there to be a victim. Mm-hmm. Is there a victim in Czechoslovakian hidden camera massage porn? Hans Kim, your answer.
I don't think so. It's hard to tell. I don't care enough to find out. I don't want to find out, but I hope not.
I mean, just in the sense that, like, they're into it. They're getting something out of it. They're all orgasming. But that videotape also may come back and haunt them at some point.
Yeah. They always blur out the dudes' faces in the Japanese porn.
Yeah.
But not the girls, which is more important.
Yeah.
Like the dude's like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. A girl like that could ruin your marriage prospects. No one wants to marry someone with that. Like, you can see that.
Right.
Like, I know someone has fucked my girlfriend really well, but there's no proof of it.
Yes. Well, when you say really well, does she compare you to past lovers?
She does sometimes.
Yeah.
I try to avoid it.
Uh-huh.
I just want to be like, this is a category of its own. You're best in class. And
yes.
The 500-pound weight class or whatever. I don't mean she's heavy or anything, but.
Well, the first time I saw you make love to a woman, and I didn't see you, but I was on stage, Kill Tony. This is going back about a good 3 years ago, and you were on the show, and you were brand new to the show. It was literally like maybe your second or third appearance. Yeah. And between the beginning of the show and the end of the show, you went upstairs, met an audience member who took you into a broom closet, and you made sweet love with her.
Yes. Doggy style, standing up. In a room closet with a condom.
And then you came back on stage. No, you told me. Wait, how did I find out? And I brought it up on the show.
On the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, but I did. Oh, okay.
It was in the green room. I was just like, hey, guys, just had sex.
Yeah.
Because I can't keep my mouth shut, so.
And then I immortalized you on the Joe Rogan show. Was that good for you?
It was amazing for me. Then Joe had me on this show the next week.
Yeah.
That Tuesday, maybe the next
So not
day.
only have I introduced you to Japanese hidden camera and Czechoslovakian hidden camera porn, I introduced you to the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yes.
Wow.
And then I was on it, thanks to you.
Wow.
A couple of years later.
Well, you earned it. You're a really funny comic. Every single time you go on Kill Tony, your stand-up is rock solid.
Thank you.
I've done shows with you. We went to Atlanta one time with Joe.
Something like that. Oh, yeah, the Fox Theater.
And you killed it.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
It's an honor to meet you. I've heard about, I've grew up listening to you guys, and it's so crazy to actually know you.
Where did you grow up? Well, thank you, by the way. I meant to say thank you, but I'm very curious about you because, you kind of became big very fast. And I didn't know how long you'd been doing it before because the Kill Tony thing kind of catapults you very quickly into, I wouldn't call it fame, but notoriety.
Public knowledge.
Public domain. Yeah. So where did you start and how long had you been doing it before you kind of got found on Kill Tony?
I started in Seattle for 5 years.
No shit. Really?
Open mics, yeah.
Wow. What was that scene like?
It was like a forgotten corner of America. Like we were still connected. We were almost Canada, it felt like. Like people would headline there and you could see all the best headliners come through. But like the open mic scene was like completely cut off from everything else. We just have Portland below us and that's it. It's just Seattle and Portland up there.
And then in Seattle, I used to play a place in Bellevue.
Parlor
Live, which was a real fun club. It was kind of a weird setup because
lots of money.
It was Microsoft, I guess, is headquartered there, right?
Yeah.
So you got a lot of rich people, but they were cool, and the room was set up really well, and it was very well run. And Jay
Hollingsworth.
Big Jay Hollingsworth used to be the door guy, and then did a lot of comedy in Seattle.
He was always there.
He's the best guy.
He's so nice.
Yeah, and funny.
Yeah, he's very talented.
He's a grinder too. That guy he's got that Boston charm. He's always like out
he's
there.
so big, but you're like, he's so nice.
Yeah. So when you were doing comedy in Seattle, what was your income? Like, how did you pay the bills?
I was just mooching off my mom and my dad. I was just living with my mom.
That's where you grew up?
Yeah, between 24 and 28 or something like that. 23 and 28, I was just living in my mom's house. And then eventually she left for Korea, and I had this whole condo to myself.
No way.
So for 5 years, I didn't pay any rent.
What? Really?
Just doing open mics, 4 open mics a night, just coming home, living for free, writing jokes, and going out every night for 5 years. It was such an amazing boost for me.
Wow. And where did you get the money for food and cars and phones and all that stuff?
I would Uber. I would Lyft. I had a job at Burgermaster in Bellevue doing the buns.
You were the bun man.
Yeah.
You should have gotten a license plate, bun man.
I like buns. I like big buns.
Damn, that's pretty cool. That's 5 years of just going to school, basically.
Yeah.
Were there local comics that you learned from that were good?
Gabriel Rutledge in Olympia, Kermit Apio, Brad Upton. Those are the older guys.
Is Kermit black?
No, Kermit's Hawaiian.
Okay. I knew he was not normal.
Yeah, he's brownish, I guess, but he's very white appearing.
Yeah.
Besides the skin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there were like local comics that I loved. Andrew Murphy, like Brent Flyberg.
So who's come out of Seattle? Is Adam Ray from Seattle?
Adam Ray's from Seattle, but I don't know if he spent a lot of time there. Fahim Anwar is from Seattle. He was one of my heroes growing up. He would headline. I would be like in awe watching him at Laughs.
Yeah. Fahim's the guy. Favorites. There's a few people. We were actually talking about this in the green room last night. We were talking about people that we can't understand why they're not huge. And Fahim's one of those guys who's doing very well. He's got a really good, solid career, so respected by everybody. But every year I keep waiting for this, the theater tour to start, Godfrey is another guy I think of like that. Yep.
Yes. He's so talented.
Yeah. And me.
Well, I knew about you from such a long time ago from the Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, comics know me, and I really look at my life sometimes, and every time I get down, because you get on social media and you see somebody walking on stage to a fucking arena and everybody's cheering, and then you see them get on a private jet. I got to get off Instagram because that's not me. I take Coach to an Uber. I don't stay in condos except for here and Denver. Otherwise, I stay in decent hotels. I make a good living. I raised a family. I'm married 25 years. I fucking love I just got off the phone with my wife. In love with her. My kids want to be around me. They treasure me.
You're a good dad. You're a good human being.
I got good friends, and I'm sober. I'm healthy physically. I got a lot of things to be grateful for. And I have the respect of my peers, which I think career-wise might be the most important thing, is that when comedians like you say nice things about me, that's better than playing a theater in a way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I have such respect for stand-up.
Yeah. People that have a lot of success, some people, they're not very well liked, and that eats away at them.
They know it, and they hate it. Like Ellen DeGeneres is miserable right now. Ugh. She's a billionaire. But she knows nobody likes her, and so she just lives in her mansion alone with her doormat girlfriend.
Yeah, and you're trapped because your ego won't let you go out, meet people, and work your way back in.
By the way, today's show is brought to you by the Hyatt.
The Westin.
I'm sorry, the Westin. There was these 3 women in bathrobe, because I've got the shades down, but you got to see this condo, the floor to ceiling, and there was 3 women in bathrobes standing at the window, and I kept thinking that they were going to flash me or something because they could see me and I could see them. It was a very weird moment.
Yeah, you guys are meeting as equals above everyone.
20 floors up. So it's not like I can, if they were to flash me, it's not like I could go attack them. They're very safe. It's a zoo.
Flashing zoo.
And, and don't you think it would have been exciting for them? It definitely would have been exciting for me. I would have pumped my fist and instead they just took a bunch of selfies in bathrobes, and they were pretty attractive younger women.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why anyone would flash, because it doesn't do anything for me.
Being flashed?
Or being the flasher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, watching.
Well, some guys are into it.
Yeah. But if you have it.
What's the best voyeur moment of your life?
I have drone footage of a woman flashing the drone.
Where was this?
This is right here on 6th Street, right in front of the Vulcan.
Oh, so you had the drone just going down 6th Street and some woman saw it and flashed it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And luckily, I was recording at the time.
Have you ever seen a woman in a window?
No.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing that I missed out on as part of my generation.
Yeah.
I feel like people are more aware of it nowadays. Or, I don't know, there's less window time for young people.
There's too many window dressings now. There's too much. There's shades, there's drapes, there's curtains, there's blinds. I mean, what happened to the old days where it was just an open window?
Well, nowadays you can record it. So now people are more afraid of it.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to Seattle. You were born in Seattle.
I moved there when I was 7. I was born in New Jersey.
Oof.
My dad was going to Rutgers in New Brunswick with my mom.
He was in college when he had you?
Yeah.
How old was your mom when she had you?
Probably 21, 22.
And they're both Korean?
Yes, they just moved to America.
Did they know each other in Korea?
Yeah, they married, they came together, they had me. They were going to move back.
Yeah.
But then it was sort of like when you're holding on to a hot air balloon, it just keeps lifting up. I was too Americanized by the time they were ready to move back. So fuck.
I see. And what did their parents do back in Korea?
My mom's parents, my mom's dad was an actor. He was part of an acting troupe.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. In a third world country. Because Korea was going through some shit for a while, but he was doing acting and he was in the thick of it, just acting for.
Wait, so this would have been during the Korean War?
70s, 80s during the military dictatorship.
Yeah, yeah.
And then my dad's family was a bit wealthier. They had property. I don't know exactly what he did, but I think a lot of it had to do with property management and being with the right crowd.
Right.
I don't have no idea, but he was more rich.
Now, in Korea, are black people the ones that run the groceries?
It's just the opposite of here.
So they came up with money. So when they came to this country, they had some support from the grandparents.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a doctorate program, so they were living pretty poor like students. But then once he got his job at Microsoft, that's why we were in Seattle.
Oh.
He was a mathematician for the research department, just doing theoretical math.
No kidding.
Yeah, they just paid him to do math.
Really?
Yeah.
And did your mom work?
My mom, no, she was a stay-at-home, but she was really into math as well. And once we were out of the house, she started tutoring and teaching math.
Uh-huh.
And that's her passion.
How were you at math?
I was all right.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It's not intuitive, I don't think, to anyone.
Well, that's what I've heard about. American kids say that they're math phobic. And they say in Asia, that's just not a concept. You just do it. It's like working out. You just apply yourself, and over time, you get it.
Yeah. But there are kids that are not good at math in Korea, but very, very rarely.
The white kids.
Yeah. The ones that look white or have the most white tendencies.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a big push, I guess, in the education system in Korea is math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense to them, to our way of thinking.
Right.
It's hard work. It pays off eventually, hopefully.
Do you find yourself attracted more to Korean women than American women?
I think so. Yeah. Just because there's something similar going on there. But I very rarely see them in comedy. I don't know if in LA it's different, but Koreans don't
performing or in the audience?
In the audience or performing, for that matter.
Well, because Koreans, let me turn off my phone. Koreans are hardworking. They're not lazing around wasting time at comedy clubs.
Exactly.
Yeah. They say the Koreans are the hardest working of all the Asian people.
That makes sense. I think so. We're the middle child. Nobody really respects us enough, so we have to work harder.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Japanese, they get they get kudos just for being Japanese.
Right.
Chinese, they have the whole army, 1 billion of them.
Uh-huh.
But Koreans are we got to work or else we're going to get fucking invaded again.
Yeah, you've been invaded a lot.
Yeah.
World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnamese War. Weren't you guys invaded during the Vietnamese War as well?
I don't think so.
No.
We were helping you guys out.
Oh, you were invading Vietnam.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it is weird. And have you spent much time back there?
I used to go back every year pretty much for like 7 years. And then spent like a month there.
You ever go to the DMZ?
Yeah, I've been once.
What's that like?
It's crazy. It's a very tourist place now. You just stay on the track. Don't go straight too far. It's like a museum.
Yeah.
It used to be like the craziest place ever.
Uh-huh.
North Koreans digging tunnels, popping up, killing people, going back in.
Really?
Yeah, there's a whole history of like North Koreans building tunnels, and they get caught and be like, no, that was your tunnel. Be like, oh no, but the blasting tubes are pointed from your direction, so we know it's yours.
No kidding.
Yeah. And they tried to assassinate the South Korean president. They had like a commando squad infiltrate all the way to the Blue House.
Really?
Yeah. It was a crazy time.
Damn.
Because Korea was under like a puppet dictator. Like America just installed some random dude that would just massacre all the people.
The North Korean leader?
No, the South Korean. Yeah, we were doing worse than North Korea till like the 80s.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they wouldn't respect our president at all. They would just come and try to kill him.
Right.
But yeah, it's cool to go there because it's like, this is what it looks like when people don't get along to the utmost degree.
Uh-huh.
And all the technology and military and violence that comes with it.
Yeah.
They used to have like a TV program like 40 years after the Korean War where old people would meet and they would film it for KBS, that is like ABC in Korea.
Uh-huh.
And it'd just be people just bawling their eyes out. They haven't seen each other in 40 years. Because that's how Koreans hold a grudge. We just fucking knuckle down and bite down. Yeah, it's like Irish people.
Yeah. Well, we're occupied by the British, obviously. So there's similar parallels like Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, the Irish people are very pro-Palestine right now.
Very pro-Palestine, yeah. And and I don't have a horse in the race. I don't really, know how I feel about it. My wife is Jewish, so, I gotta take her side.
That I respect, but these people that aren't even Jewish that are on Israel's side, I'm like, what is in it for you?
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend's Jewish too, so I'm like, I understand. I get it from her perspective. She's just on Team Israel.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Well, I mean, the thing is when your people, when there was a genocide against your people 70 years ago, you kind of feel like you got to buckle down no matter what. Exactly. And get behind them, Yeah. But at the same time, you look at the Palestinians and this most recent action against them is just deplorable. But at the same time, then I go back again and I go, well, they're also hurling fucking bombs at Israel around the clock all the time. But I don't know. It's very complicated. And that's why I think people read a few news stories and then they jump in with both feet, and you go
it's all emotion.
Yeah. Whereas the Irish conflict is much more easy to read. Like the Brits came in there and have occupied for 800 years. And the Irish are like this fucking ragtag, badass, we just won't assimilate. Any other country, if they were occupied that long, would eventually go, all right, we'll drink tea and we'll fucking put the queen on our dollars, And the Irish are just like, nope, we're going to fucking play bagpipes and we're going to bomb you. We're going to fight. We're going to, I got this tattoo, the harp, because the British for hundreds of years didn't allow Irish traditional music. And if they caught you with a harp, they would kill you. They'd kill your whole family. And so they would bury harps in basements, and they'd have these music sessions in the country that people would sneak off to. And, the language, Gaelic, which is the Irish language, they kept it alive for hundreds of years, even though if you spoke it, you would be killed.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just for speaking.
Yeah.
Fucking British.
The British, man. People in this country, we got racism all wrong. People are like, black people get racist, Jews get racist again. What the fuck? What have they ever done? Then you look at the British who colonized, they committed genocide in India and Africa and here and Australia, and you're just like, well, why are we, the fucking Dutch? You know how evil the Dutch are?
Oh, the Dutch East Indies Company?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know much. What is that, South America or?
It's, Africa.
Okay.
They were in South. They colonized South Africa. They were apartheid. Was them.
Oh, right.
And then all different areas of Africa.
Ugh.
The Dutch came in.
Yeah, Africa is easy to look over. You're just like, oh, that's just Africa. It's always been like that. But
it's true.
Yeah, they got fucked.
Yeah. So, all right. So, why did your parents leave and go back to? Well, you said your mom went back to Korea. Where'd your dad go?
My dad is back in Korea right now. My mom is in Oakland. She went back to Korea, came back here to the States. My dad, once he was done with Microsoft, he was like, I just want to go back to where I can talk to people.
Really?
Yeah. He went back.
So your parents split up?
Yeah, they're sort of separated now. I don't know if they're officially divorced, but they're living apart from each other.
Well, was him leaving the country about going back to Korea, or was it about getting away from your mom?
I think a little bit of both.
Really?
I think so. We don't really talk about it.
You don't talk about it. You are Irish. You guys are Irish. Damn. Yeah. And so he stayed over there. And how long ago was this?
This is after I graduated from college. I'm 34, 35 now. So this is like 15, 17 years ago.
You're 34, 35 right now? Are you 34 or are you 35?
35.
So why'd you say I'm 34, 35?
I just wish I was younger.
I've never heard anyone describe their own age with two numbers before.
It's just a vague concept at this point.
And so when your mom came back, why'd she move to Oakland instead of Seattle?
That's where my sister is. She found a job. My middle sister, I'm the oldest. She's the middle. And then my youngest sister joined them. So they're all there. All the girls in our family are together in California and Oakland.
In Oakland?
Yeah,
Who the fuck lives in Oakland? Isn't it kind of a dump?
Yeah. My mom got her bag stolen at a Costco.
Really?
Yeah, and the Costco wouldn't help her in Oakland. They're like, that happens.
Is she broke? Why Oakland?
Well, my sister married a guy who is like a native of Oakland.
Okay.
So I think he is like Oakland do or die, and they're kind of like on board with that. Like at least he has like a passion for a place.
Okay.
And he's Chinese, and it's an interesting mix.
Yeah. What college did you go to?
Georgia Tech, Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you like Atlanta?
I loved Atlanta.
Yeah.
The school was 70% men, which I had no idea before I got there.
Is it a tech school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech.
Oh, Georgia
Institute.
Tech. You just said. Yeah. Well, I guess that makes sense. What percentage Asian?
Probably like 30, 25.
Uh-huh.
Pretty good for a southern school.
Yeah. And did you meet girls there?
Not even a little bit.
Not once?
No, I didn't. I met women, but I never had sex.
You were a virgin through college?
Through college, yeah. 22.
All right. And then you moved from there back to Seattle.
Uh-huh. I did a stint in Chattanooga at a startup company.
Uh-huh.
That didn't work out. I got fired for arguing with the boss and not really doing enough.
Did you have sex there in Chattanooga?
I had sex. I did an internship near Atlanta. That's when I had sex. And then I went to Chattanooga. I don't think I ever had sex there.
All right, walk us through the first time you had sex, because at this point you're like 23 years old.
22.
You're 22 years old. You're all backed up. You're all horned up. And how do you meet this girl?
It was at a party. So I was doing an internship. We went to Georgia Tech, my old school, and there was a house party. I was just talking to this big black girl. She was my age. And then we went to a club. She couldn't get in because she was 20. And I was 22, so completely legal. But
when you say big, how big?
She was like, she wasn't precious sized, but she was maybe Miss Pat sized.
Miss Pat size, okay.
But taller.
Yeah. And
then she got into the club somehow, and then we just started grinding and dancing, and we even kissed probably.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to another party after that, and then she happened to be there, and then I was like, oh my God. And then we started kissing there. And then I got her phone number, and then she decided to come down to Noonan. Or no, I went up to her place. She had a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It was like a hotel. She was like really doing well. And then we had sex, and then in the middle of sex, I was like, "Can I tell you a secret?" And she was like, "Uh-oh, what is this?" And I was like, "I'm a virgin." She's like, "Oh, that's why you're so bad at this."
Yeah. That's the kind of feedback you were looking for.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You waited till halfway through?
Yeah, I wanted a completely organic experience, and then I revealed it because it was not, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put what, who to high five or whatever.
I'm guessing she didn't have sex with you again after that.
No, we started seeing each other for a little bit.
Okay.
And then we stopped seeing each other when she found out I wasn't really looking to be exclusive.
Oh, look at you. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was a virgin with standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, if it takes you that long to have sex, you're probably going to want to have multiple partners at that point.
Yeah.
All right, so you go back to Seattle. You start doing. Did you know that's what you wanted to do when you got back there?
No. I got fired from my job. I was just like, what am I going to do with my life? I was listening to Joe Rogan all the time. I had the bug. I wanted to try stand-up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me try this. I'm not doing anything else. It was probably like a week back. My mom was pissed. I got fired. I had no direction in my life.
Yeah.
She was like, you're staying out till 1 a.m. What the fuck were you doing? Because I got caught with weed earlier. And I was like, oh, I'm doing stand-up comedy. And then no questions. She was just like, okay, you found something.
Oh, okay.
And she just let me stay out as late as possible. Use the family car. You stay at home for free and just do comedy for 5 years. And she was just like, she's glad I found something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you first start making a living? When did you quit the day job?
Probably here in Kill Tony. When I got Kill Tony was when I finally just got my head above water.
How long ago was that?
That was 3 years ago when I was having sex in the room closet. That was probably my moment.
That was your moment.
Yeah. I was living in New York in a van, so I was working like part-time, so I could make that work. I was on food stamps. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't like making enough money to live like a human being until I came to Austin.
So all right, so Seattle, you get your 5 years under your belt. You start to feel like you got a strong 10, 15 minutes to show clubs. So then you move to New York. Mm-hmm. And you drove in a van to New York, or you bought one when you got there?
I bought one when I got there.
Did you know you'd be living in it when you bought it?
Yeah. I bought a minivan first. I was just like, I'm in New York. I'm working all the time. I live in Sunset Park, far away. Like, I'm not doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Let me just cut down on all the expenses and just do what I was doing in Seattle, because I knew what that was like. So I wanted to replicate that in New York.
And so you put a mattress in the back of the van? Mm-hmm. And what month was this?
This was 6 months into New York. In January was when I first started living in a van in New York.
And you'd sleep with the van off with just a lot of blankets?
Yeah.
Damn.
I got great sleep in that van.
And what if you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night?
I had a plastic bag in the beginning. I'd carry around a plastic bag in the morning.
Yeah.
Looking for a place to dump it. And then I got a bucket. Laundry detergent buckets were great. Those oil buckets, those clear, large cooking oil buckets were great.
Right.
And I would just pee in that, throw it, because they're everywhere in New York. So I'd just pick one up when it got too dirty. There's like fucking solids starting to form in it.
Yeah.
I'd just throw it away and get a new one.
Throw in a garbage can?
Yeah, anywhere.
And what about bowel movements?
Inside venues, you know, I'm not really a big shitter. Maybe like once every 2 days.
Well, your body probably starts to regulate itself when you can't go that often.
Right, yeah.
So during the day, if you had nothing to do, would you just sit in the van and...
Yeah, sit in the van, write, go to a cafe, write, or go to a park, just hang out.
Yeah.
Air everything out.
And then it took you a minute to break into the clubs in New York?
I never got anywhere in New York. I started from scratch and stayed at the bottom, and then the pandemic happened, and then I came here, and then that's when something happened for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So did you drive the van out here from New York and continue living in it?
Yeah. I have it here somewhere.
Somewhere.
Stashed it.
Damn. And now you got an apartment on 6th Street. Like I shouldn't give away your address, but it's a pretty big venue, big avenue.
Yeah.
And you're living with your girlfriend?
No.
Is it exciting for you to wake up in the middle of the night and go pee in a toilet? It must feel so good. I mean, really, there's probably some things that you don't take for granted now.
Yeah. Climate control.
Uh-huh.
Everything's the temperature I want it to be.
Yep.
Privacy. I don't have to sleep by cars.
Where did you used to shower?
Like New York sports. What is that? New York
Sports
gym?
Club?
Yeah, sports club or something.
So you got a membership there?
Yeah, I would get trial memberships for a week.
Uh-huh.
I really wasn't showering enough.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to other gyms. 24-hour fitness was hard to get into. But there's so many gyms in New York.
And you just get week-long memberships at each one?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Saunas, and they were nice gyms.
Uh-huh. Would you work out while you're in there or just shower?
Sometimes. I wish I did more.
Was there anyone that looked after you in New York?
I had a lot of good friends there.
Uh-huh. Not so good that they'd put you on their couch.
I actually didn't like that. It was more preferable for me to stay in the car.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, someone gave me a job at a sushi restaurant. I was awful at it.
Yeah.
And then I quit suddenly. I was a maitre d', living in a van, greeting people in fucking Midtown Manhattan, these rich people.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what I smelled like, but
wow.
I was Asian, so it worked.
So then you come out here, and the pandemic's going on, and things start to open up. Kill Tony starts again. And then you're just one of the hundreds of people that puts their name in a hat on a Monday night. You get called up, and what happens the first time you do it? It
goes all right. I do my jokes. They make me jump over my leg. I was like trying to like do anything. I was like, please, I don't care about how I look. I'll do anything for the show. I get called up 2 or 3 times. Then Tony gets canceled. That time he got canceled for the Pang Dang thing.
Right.
And then he was like, hey, why don't you come back? You're Asian. So I was singing the national anthem. Doing whatever I could. And he was like, come back next week. I'll give you a minute. And then I did the minute. And then Tony was like, you want to be our first replacement regular? And I was like, yes.
Wow. So it was fortuitous that you were Asian at that time.
Yeah.
And that you happened to be doing good sets. And it was just like, all right, this is a good fit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And who is the guy that Tony got canceled over? What was that guy's name?
Pang Dang.
Is he still here in Austin?
No, he's from Dallas.
Okay.
And then he moved to New York for a bit. I don't really know where he is.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a weird move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very antisocial.
Right.
Very like airing out dirty laundry. What should have stayed in the community.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about comedy is so much of it is in context of what's going on in a room at a certain time. And, like you look at what happened to Shane Gillis on that podcast about what he said. And I think we really thought that the Asians were untouchable. We thought you can't say the N-word, you can't make fun of Jewish people. But we thought Asians are safe. And all of a sudden, we can't even make fun of you guys.
Yeah, it's just math. Nobody's actually, the Asians weren't offended.
Yeah.
It was just people being like, you can't do this to these people, and you're doing it to these people, so technically this should be illegal too.
Yeah.
And there's like a small contingent of liberal Asians that will like, amplify, create like what is like microaggressions, but.
It happened to Sarah Silverman about 2 decades ago on the Conan O'Brien show. She did I can't remember what the joke was. It might have been, I have a friend who's Asian and he made a joke and he made a pee-pee in my Coke or something. You don't remember that old joke?
Yeah, Sam Talent did that joke.
Oh, he did?
On Kill Tony. I had no idea what he was talking about, so I learned about it then.
Yeah, so she did some version of that on Conan. I may have it wrong, but there was this Asian group that really stuck it to her, and Conan ended up apologizing on the air because of it. Ugh. I don't know if she ever did, but all right, so you start to become a regular on Kill Tony, and then how does the money start to come in? Where do you from going on the road yourself?
Probably started with opening for Joe Rogan at the Vulcan.
Mm-hmm.
Paid pretty well.
It's a good paycheck.
Yeah. So that got me, into my first house.
Right.
Or my first rented room in a house. And then I started touring. I started going out with Tony. And, I guess touring is where a lot of it comes from.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel that makes me like maybe $1,000 a month if I'm lucky.
You want to plug it?
Hans Kim on YouTube. I need to post more, but you can see like a video of me like kissing a bunch of women. It's like a montage that I made
Is
myself.
that the thing now? Are you like the guy who's hooking up on the road?
No, that was my thing when I first started, when I met you for the first time. But no, I'm not hooking up on the road that much. I think it's sad if you're out at the meet and greets just hunting.
Yeah.
Because you can always tell.
Yeah, for sure.
But I have a girlfriend now,
you have a girlfriend. But so when you started going on tour, like opening for Tony probably more than Joe, because Joe's obviously he's not doing any of that. But like opening for Tony, you would meet girls and you'd hook up with them? Yeah. And would they know that was your thing, and so they wanted to be part of the experience?
Some of them, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Not to take away from your charm. No, I'm sure you were very good on your own, but I'm just wondering if it was like girls wanted to be another notch in your gun belt.
I mean, some people don't like that. They're like, "Oh, I'm just another." You say this to all the girls, kind of thing. But it helped out a lot for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I know what I look like. It's not. You're
not a bad-looking guy.
Oh, thank you. I guess not. I mean.
Do you think you're not a good-looking guy?
Yeah.
No. No, you're fine.
Thank you.
I mean, you're not like striking, but I wouldn't say you're unattractive.
Okay. I just don't think about it or try to,
That's the best way to do it. Yeah. If you don't think about it, then you're not taking yourself out of the game. I used to be good-looking. I mean, I wasn't like gorgeous.
I think you have a good head size.
A good head size. Shape. Yeah. Good head.
Like me, my head is just, there's something going on.
It's long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, very long.
Yeah.
I think I mouth breathed a lot. And that kind of like dropped everything down.
Okay.
Apparently that's really bad for you, according to this Netflix documentary.
Really?
Mewing.
I
forget what it's called, but some guys just like, if you close your mouth, you can look better.
Absolutely. I was once on the Chelsea Handler show, and the producer, Sue Murphy, came out during a commercial break, and she goes, "Close your mouth. You're literally sitting there like this." And I realized like I do that all the time. If I don't watch, I constantly catch myself, and I close my mouth because I go like that.
Yeah. It looks horrible.
It looks horrible.
Nobody looks good with their mouth open.
No. All right, let's get to the part of the show that's called Fastballs with Fitz. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to answer them.
Okay.
Have you ever borrowed money from anybody?
Yes.
Who and how much, and have you paid it back?
I paid it back, $10,000 from a family friend.
Really?
To buy my first Sprinter van, my only Sprinter van.
Oh, my God.
Because I was living in a minivan for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I borrowed $10,000 from a family friend. And then I paid them back throughout the pandemic. I wanted to stop during the pandemic, but my mom was like doing a Korean hissy fit, sighing really heavily.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll pay them back. And it turns out I made more money during the pandemic than ever before in my life.
How did you make money during the pandemic?
So Washington State, where my licenses was still, because I never transferred to New York, they were giving out like $400 a week.
Really?
Yeah. And all I had to do was apply to one job and show them, or like I didn't even have to show them. I just had to click. Yes, I did that.
Yeah.
So I was getting $400 a week or something crazy, or 200 or something.
Yeah.
So I was totally able to pay them back. I was paying that back like $1,000 a month or something. I just didn't want to, but yeah, my mom made me pay him back, and then I pay him back every month.
And were they always cool about it, or did they ever put pressure on you to get the money?
No, they were super cool about it.
That's amazing.
10,000.
You gonna do something nice for them now?
I have to, yeah.
Yeah, you should do something nice. Give them that van if you can find it.
I don't think they want that van.
With the jugs of piss in it.
All the cum stains.
Oh, God. Did you ever bring a woman back to the van?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably the most sex I had up until now is in the van. I don't even know how to have sex in a home now.
How did you meet these girls?
Comedy. I met one girl through comedy, another girl through comedy. They were comedians.
Yeah.
And went over to a girl's house, so I didn't have sex. Some random Tinder date. Didn't know I did comedy. That was the only non-comedian that I had sex with, but it wasn't in the van.
So you never had sex in the van?
Oh, I did with the two comedians.
You did?
Yeah. One was in the minivan. And then the Sprinter van. One was only in the minivan. And then I had some sort of thing with another comedian during the pandemic where we were traveling from San Diego to fucking Arizona or Joshua Tree. So I was having some sort of tryst. I don't know if I ever had official penetrative sex, but
yeah,
I felt pretty
I mean, I can't imagine, and no offense, the low self-esteem of a woman to go into the van of a man who's showering in gyms. The van's got to smell horrible, and to have sex with you.
I think girls like a story.
Oh, that's great. All right, next question. There's two types of people. Go.
Two types of people. There are there are people who are aware of other people in the world and are like trying to be a helpful part of the whole thing, and there are people that are like main character. Everyone else is just sort of to the side, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I think there's great ways to do both. And America is like a place where people that are like type A personalities can really benefit everyone else by being the best version of themselves. But I prefer like people that are more, you know, not trying to be the main character all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe on stage, yeah, but off stage, I think that it's really grating to me to be around someone who just leaves you no room to exist.
And it is hard. I mean, I like your answer a lot, but it is hard as a comedian because you do have to live in both worlds. You know, you have to be the person that's pushing themselves on social media. Look what I'm doing. Pay attention to me. Comment on what I do. And be on stage. Everybody shut up. Listen to me for now. And then also get off stage and be like, oh, thank you for coming to the show. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? You know? And if you don't do that, you can really get fucked up. If you don't balance it out by caring about the people around you, I mean, you become a lunatic and nobody likes you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy if you're at a meet and greet, even at a meet and greet where people just saw you be the main star. You have to, okay, that was that. Now it's back to whatever.
People don't like that sometimes.
Yeah.
They want you to be the guy they just saw on stage, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I punched out. Now I'm just trying to get you to buy my stupid pin. You're just a $10 bill to me right now. All right. Have you ever not finished a set on stage?
Yes.
What happened?
This was Detroit, I think, opening up for Joe Rogan. I don't know if I want to tell this story.
You can tell it. It's a safe space.
So I had smoked weed, and I was bringing up Brian Simpson. Tony wasn't there that weekend. He was doing his own thing, I think. And so I go up first. I do my jokes. They're doing all right. I do my best joke. It does all right. And then I have like one more joke left. And I'm like, well, this is as good as it gets. So if you guys aren't if you gave me that for that joke, I can't even imagine what you're going to give me for and it's a theater. It's the Fox Theater in Detroit.
Yeah.
So I did about 10 minutes.
And you're supposed to do 15?
I'm supposed to do 15.
Uh-huh.
Brian Simpson is not waiting. watching 5 minutes of my set. He is in the green room. I introduce him. Brian Simpson. He just not coming out. I just walk off. I just walk off like that's what's supposed to happen. And there's the weirdest murmur in the audience. Like,
oh my God.
Like, what? That's the kind of vibe in the audience. It's really, I've never seen an audience like that. Hopefully I never will.
Damn.
So I go up into the green room. I poke my head in. Hey, Brian, I introduced you. And Joe's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And so we all walk down. And I'm like, do you want me to introduce you again?
Yeah.
And Brian's like, no, I got this. I've been here before. Don't worry, I got this. He was a mensch.
Yeah.
So he goes out. He fucking saves the show.
Yeah.
He blames it on himself, I think. He's like, oh, sorry, man, I got too high.
Uh-huh.
His audience doesn't know how much time I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Their phones are all bagged up anyways.
Yeah.
And then Brian does his time. Then Joe comes out. He's like, sorry, guys, I think we got Hans Kim too high. So that was the first show. And the second show was I did my time. So,
good.
Yeah.
So when did you start getting high before you went on stage?
I try not to, but with Joe, Joe takes little puffs.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to turn Joe Rogan down. So I took a couple puffs.
Yeah.
I really don't think it was the weed. I think it was just my self-confidence.
Yeah, yeah. The weed will amplify your lack of self-confidence in a given moment, though. That's why I could never do it on stage. All right, final question. Hans Kim, what is the hackiest bit you've ever done?
I mean, if you come out this weekend, I'll probably do a lot of it. The hackiest bit. Well, I have a set that I did when I first came out, and it's like at a Thai restaurant. I'm like, thank you for decorating the place for me.
Uh-huh.
I said, as an Asian guy, it's like I have to, be careful how I park. I'm like, man, I'm letting down the whole race with how I park. And then no punchline, just general insecurity.
Yeah.
About being Asian.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I still do that about Irish stuff. I mean, you kind of got this tool belt that you can use when you go on stage, and how you use it. There's times where I go, wow, I'm really playing into some Irish stereotypes with this one, I could probably work on that. And then there's times I go deep into kind of interesting thoughts about the Irish. But yeah, when you're starting out, you definitely lean on the real obvious ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, listen, do you want any tour dates you want to plug?
Yeah, I'll be in Boston. I'm doing the Wilbur.
Oh, that's amazing.
This weekend. I'm so excited.
Just you?
Yeah.
Look at you. Blowing up, huh?
Yeah. I'm so thankful they'll let anyone up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's a really good theater.
Yeah. I'm so excited. And then I'm doing Richmond, Virginia, Funny Bone. I'm doing Toronto in February. I'm doing Oklahoma in December. That's all I can remember at
that's
this
great.
point.
All right, Hans Kim, what a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg. This was an honor.
Oh, thank you. That's nice to hear. We broke in the condo.
Yeah.
The mothership condo.
I'm glad I'm one of the first to see it.
All right, good. Let's make love. Thank you.